Patreon Q&A number 91. I want to thank all 128 of my incredible patrons. Guys, thank you so much for continuing to support me the way that you have been. And to everyone else listening, there's going to be spoilers in these questions and answers, so tread carefully. Bryan Big Smokin asks, so I'm going to answer your second question first, because I'm going to use that for the title of the video. What do you think the future holds for Phoenix Man in his below wolf form? So this is a great question. And this is definitely the time that we need to talk about this while it's still relevant. So I'm thinking that now that Phoenix Man is alive, which I jokingly tweeted about like last month, I was like, they're going to retcon it and Phoenix Man's going to be alive. I didn't know they were really going to do this. Because like if you read like through the chapter and you look at the little panels, like he gets kicked by Gale. And then after that, we don't see him again as far as I know, right? So I don't think that kick killed him. Because Saitama probably would have, or Child Emperor or something would have said something. So he like scampered off somewhere. So Phoenix Man is kind of like in the same predicament as like Ginyu was in the Namek filler, you know, when he was transported into the frog. So I assume that he'll have like that thing going for him. For what's going on with the, you know, the base being pulled out of the ground now, I'm sure he'll survive that some way. It would be hilarious if he doesn't, but I'm sure he'll survive through that. And then maybe he's included in like the Black S and Rover thing that happens with Saitama, you know, after this arc. Maybe it's going to be like a whole gang of like little monsters or something. Because we still have, what was the Mike Wazowski's Monaco? We got Monaco. Then we have Black S, Mini Black S. Then we have Mini Rover. And now we might have Mini Phoenix Man too? Chick Man? Is that what's going on here? I don't know. But regardless, I think he's going to live this arc. And then he's going to be prevalent in the future possibly. So either he's going to, I don't know, turn face and become like an S-class hero. Because don't you think it's weird that like Murata is giving him like a redemption? Like, because he has a lot of those comical moments where like the reader, where he wants the reader kind of to like empathize or I don't know, just not hate him. You know what I mean? Like the Penguin stuff, him trying to pull Child Emperor over to his side and him not being too overly aggressive. It's a stark contrast, right, from the original Phoenix Man. So it seems like maybe they're trying to set him up for a possible redemption or something. Or he just comes back and he's like another huge villain that gets more powerful later down the series, like what Black S is pretty much going to be. And also Phoenix Man's abilities, I think, are going to give us some insight into the end game of One Punch Man. So he might be used as like a device to explain the hierarchy of stuff like that to us. And as for the villains, I'm just like a sucker for like the big ones, the iconic ones, you know, like the Aizens, the Madaras, the Blackbeards. I love them, and you know, Frieza's cool too. And I also really like Togashi's villains, or at least from Yu Yu Hakusho. I haven't really gotten too far into Hunter x Hunter, but like younger Toguro, I love him. He's incredible. Like his motivations and like character development are so clear. Even though he is just a stepping stone for Yusuke and just for the plot in general, he's just such a memorable villain. Nonetheless, same thing with Sensui. Like I think he's one of the more unique villains as well. I really like almost like the character study that Togashi does of him. Acoustic asks, hey man, strongest monster you believe Genos can beat at the current point in the manga? Cheers. So I don't know if he can take a dragon by himself yet. I mean, maybe. I mean, like in the webcomic, he really can't because he struggled with a demon. But, you know, we're talking about Daedric Genos. So it's like, Murata is really, I think, having a lot to do with how Genos, how powerful he is right now. So, I don't know. Maybe he could probably take out, like, Bug God. You know, he's pretty powerful. Even Transform State, something like that. Or maybe, like, Evil Eye. You know, those, like, guys that are, like, ambiguously powered, like, you know, maybe above demon or something. I mean, maybe he could take a dragon for all we know. Ayden B asks, hey, Sean, I'm a brand new patron. I've been watching your videos since about September. You're the one who really got me into One Punch Man and My Hero series. So, on about more so One Punch Man, and I watch almost all of the videos on them. Your videos are really amazing, and the topics you cover are amazing too. Anyway, hey, thank you, Ayden. I really appreciate that, man. My question is, do you think that One Punch Man series will ever have a significant character deaths like Sir Night Eye? Ooh, I don't know. You know, it's hard to say because we haven't even seen anyone, maybe even come close to dying at this point. I mean, you know, like you said, hospitalizations and stuff like that, but I don't know if one really wants to kill any of his characters. I think he just likes all of them so much, even the monsters. I'm sure he was reluctant to let go of Boros too, but, maybe like Blast, you know? I could see Blast maybe sacrificing himself or something, or maybe dying fighting like a super powerful monster like Platinum S or something in the future, or you know, organization or something, you know, who knows? But like, it would make sense if it was Blast, because he's pretty much dead right now, you know? So if he comes back, has some awesome moments, and then sacrifices himself and dies like a martyr or a legend or something, I think that would be pretty cool. Beowolf asks, hey Shonen, how's it going? It's nice to finally be on your Q&A. I've been watching your videos for months now and really think that you have the best content of all the topics you do. I mean, seriously, blowing the other channels out of the water. The way you actually analyze the facts and not just assume. Whatever sounds the best for your vid is amazing. Like many of the others watching, new or old, I have decided to support you. So you're the first channel I have ever subscribed to, so you should give yourself a pat on the back for that one. Wow, thank you, Beowolf. That's amazing. That sounds so good reading that. You're being too kind, though. I don't think I'm that good, but maybe one day I will be. But regardless, thank you for the very kind words and the support as well. So now that you've seen my old videos, you got one for the webcomic recently. The two cyborgs, Airman and Destro, are said to be 96 and 97%. It's actually 95 and 94%. And they're the rule violators, which means they must be incredibly powerful. So Genos is going to be somewhere around 90% as well, but he is considered one of the weaker S-class heroes. Does that mean that the other two are the same power as Genos compared to them? This is a great question, and I've always thought this since we found out about the cyborg percentages, like what percentage is Genos considered. And I think we will get the answer to that question in the future, in a couple chapters, but it seems like Genos has got to be like around like at least 85%. I wouldn't be surprised if he's like 94% himself too, but regardless of where he is compared to them, I think that they are exceptionally powerful because, they're pretty much coming from the organization, and we just saw that the organization allegedly dropped off that magic mirror or the machine mirror robot that we saw in chapter 138 that was classified as a dragon, which is pretty much G6. So if they could just make those, then like the two main dudes, or one of the three main dudes of the organizations, the brain robot, the gray fox robot, and the drive knight, these three guys are like ultra powerful because they have all the best gear, and all of the data and info that they're collecting is going to them as well, not just the robots they're making. So I think they're all like high dragons and probably way stronger than Genos. Buddy asks, hey yo, Simp Slayer Z, hope things are going well. Here's hopefully a juicy question for you. What if the Neo Heroes fought the Monster Association instead? We could still have Saitama running about so Orochi doesn't run train on them. Which monsters do you think will give the Neo Hero cadres the most trouble? Once again, feel free to go wild. So you're right, buddy. This is definitely a juicy question. And it ultimately comes down to like how powerful Blue and Raiden are, because Blue, if his energy projection is like as powerful as it needs to be, I'll say, then he could probably even defeat Evil Natural Water and Black S in theory, if he could vaporize them. That is, like I'm saying, I just don't know how powerful it is at this point. We will find out eventually. And same thing for Raiden. If Raiden is just as strong as Darkshine, we don't even have to say stronger than him, then he would definitely run house on a lot of the cadres. And then it's like, are Aramin and Destro allowed to participate in this? Even though they are just like for the rule violators, do they just make the exception of like, hey, Aramin and Destro, can you just come help us with this Monster Association stuff? It's kind of a big deal because if they enter, then in theory we have two more high dragons with tech. Just my opinion, of course. So I'm not saying that the Neo Heroes would win, but I'm saying that they would have just as good of a chance as the Heroes would without like Tatsumaki, I would say, or the S-Class Heroes. Chase C asks, hey Z, always excited to hear the videos. You're the one out there that consistently doing One Punch Man battle matchups, and I can't get enough. Hey, thank you, Chase. I appreciate that. My question this week is a two-parter. How do you feel Kakashi from Shippuden would rank in the Hero Association? How do you feel when a fight between him and Genos would go? Thank you. So, Kakashi is deceptively powerful. Same thing goes with like a lot of the powerful like Naruto characters, because like he would definitely be S-Class. I mean, Kamui, Perfect Susanoo, all of the other jutsus. Come on, that's S-Class level stuff. It's aside from whatever his physicality would be comparing to like S-Class heroes. But like same thing goes into him like going against Genos. Like if Genos just vanilla went against Kakashi, then Kakashi would have the element of surprise on his side. He would just Kamui him, and that's it. Like Genos is usually the aggressor, so he would come fist first at Kakashi, he would just activate the Kamui. Or Genos could possibly, I don't know, reverse thrust out of it if he can react fast enough, possibly. I don't know, but I would just say that, like, Naruto characters definitely have the element of surprise on their side when going against, like, traditional powerhouses like Genos and stuff like that. Crusader Deus Vult asks, Deus Vult, all powerful Z God, 'tis I Crusader. I found a dog today in the parking lot. It was a husky, and it had different color eyes, and you found the owner. Hey, that's good, because that's an expensive dog. I also think I want Chipotle. Hey, me too. It's my favorite, one of my favorites. First question, do you think Shadow Emperor could beat Hellfire and Gale? What weapons would he have used to beat them? So, great question. I'd love to see this fight. I'm unsure, but I think that he could get the job done. But I also think that they could probably get the job done too. He would do a lot of trickery, like from stopping them moving, like stifling their speed. Like, obviously he can control the elements to some degree because he could produce, like, you know, water or ice or fire if he really needs to, so he can use those. And he, you know, he can set up things like how he set up with Phoenix Man. I mean, in theory he can get the job done, but it would be super high diff for him to be able to defeat both of them, let alone just one of them. Second question is, do you think that the suits will take control of the people who are wearing them, and that's what the organization plans are? Yeah. Well, it's either going to take control of them or, I mean, regardless, it's like absorbing all of the data that they're doing. And then in the end, I think that they're probably going to like flip a switch, and then it's going to be like, oh no, it's controlling us. I mean, it's too convenient, right? I'm sure people like Metal Bat will probably be able to muscle out of it, you know, because he is wearing the suit after all. I don't think it'll be able to like force him. He's a little too strong for that. But everyone else that's not like S-class level will probably be subjective to like being their puppets. Dino W asks, hey Shonen, back to the grind this week. Gotta get back to training so that they'll raise my disaster level to dragon. Hey, good luck with that, Dino. It is extremely difficult to attain the level of dragon, but I have faith that you could probably do it. Just you know, realize it's going to take a while. First question, if one of Murata decided to say that within the story, the recent revisions were the work of a monster with the ability to change time and cause different outcomes of things, what disaster level would it be? Easy, above God. Are you kidding me? It's manipulating our reality? Then it might even be beyond threat levels. Even we need to worry about this thing now. Second question, what would the other revisions would you personally like to see or branch out from the changes, like potentially Phoenix Man powering back up and fighting Darkshine and the other ninjas teaming up with Neon against Drive Knight? This is where like the slippery slope begins that Murata has kind of started, because me personally, I'm totally fine with writing one's story out. Like, I want to see where he's taken this. Like, of course, it's always nice to edit manga and existing, and we all think that we could do it better, or things that we think that we should. Slippery slope is what I'm saying. So it would be cool if Phoenix Man powered back up and he got his Brilliant Eagle form back. I think that will happen in the future. But Darkshine fighting against Darkshine and the ninjas teaming up with Neon against Drive Knight, I think that's unlikely, because Neon is going to be Drive Knight's you know, personal cyborg robot thing. Flashy Flash asks, yo, Shonen, is that a JoJo reference? So my first question is, how would you rank the JoJo parts? I rank them from worst to best. So, worst, man, it's hard to say like what the worst is, because they're all good. I don't think there's like a bad JoJo's part, but I can't really do this accurately because I've only really skimmed Steel Ball Run and JoJo Leon, so I don't really want to include them, so I'll just go 1 through 6, and I'll say that the ones that I enjoyed the most at the top. Okay, so this is how I rank them, and you know, I'm not a hardcore JoJo guy, so you know, just grain of salt my stuff. And then as for the ranking of the openings, I barely remember what the other ones are, but the two that stick out the most in my mind are the first opening from part 3 and the first opening from part 5. Those are my two favorites. Free-Tshirts asks, yo, Shonen has it hanging, my guy. It's hanging low. I hope it is for you too, Free-Tshirts. So, Phoenix Man can make a dimension, I suppose, which is super interesting, but I started drawing a comparison. The dimension looks kind of similar to the one that God had with Homus Emperor. Question is, do you think God create dimensions? And this is how Saitama will have him fight through dimensions. Love the content. Have a great week, dude. Yes, I do think that there is an extreme similarity between these two dimensions. One's doing that on purpose, in my opinion. And I think this is all this power is like connected. It's all created equal. I don't think these are unique abilities to God or Phoenix Man. I think like if you get strong enough, you could develop this. I'm gonna make a video about all this stuff. And yeah, I do think this is very likely where Saitama is going to fight God in the end. Especially like maybe it's like a different dimension where we can actually like see like Saitama make contact with God, you know, so that he can actually try his hardest and not have to worry about blowing Earth to smithereens. Geruda asks, hey Shonen, so Genos takes a lot of L's but is ridiculously powerful. Where would you place him in the My Hero universe? Do you think he cracks the top 10 list? Absolutely. The My Hero scale is, you know, mild compared to One Punch Man. So like the powerful One Punch Man characters are going to be absurd in the My Hero world. Even guys like Genos. Like Genos is so fast, strong, durable, so many significant abilities that it would be like he had 8 great quirks in the My Hero world. Like he probably can, current Daedric Genos can probably move and perform at like a level of like maybe 80% full Kalingizuku, maybe even more than that. You know, I haven't really compared them, but just thinking like he'd be way beyond top 10. He'd probably be in the top 2, top 3. L asks, hello, the one that reads between the lines better than I. At like 10%, now that Dr. Bufoy is the enemy and a leader of the organization, and Drive Knight is indeed the defector, creating a dragon level threat in G6 is a real feat. Something Dr. Bufoy could do, but the Rain Robot, I'm not so sure. One's just awesome. He makes me second guess things I was once certain of. Can't wait to hear your thoughts. Take care. So I'm not sure what you're saying here, Al. Are you saying that you think Metal Knight is the leader of the organization and is creating the G robots? But why? You know, why would Metal Knight? Why would he need to do that? Why does he want to obtain that battle information when it's like clear as day that that's what Drive Knight wants and what the organization wants, that Metal Knight's not tied to them? Drive Knight actively hates Metal Knight. He's trying to pin all of the heat onto Metal Knight. So why would it just... Look, man. Metal Knight is a good guy. Okay? I know I hated him once, but my eyes have opened. He's just a red herring. He's a great red herring by one. And the true evil here is Drive Knight. He created G6, or one of them in the organization created G6. Aramin and Destro are the brain robot. And you're saying, like, how are they able to develop these dragons? Because they're, you know, trial and error. It's progressively overload for them. Like, they keep taking in data that they're collecting from everything. And it allows them to make better and better technology and robots. I mean, they're already like pretty much dragons, the high dragons themselves. So they're just getting to the point of where they can make spare dragons. Legandaryus asks, hey, Shonen, how many subs would King have on YouTube and what games would he stream? So I think you know what I'm going to say here. King would pretty much be PewDiePie, right? I mean, he would have just as many subs as PewDiePie, just as much love and admiration. And he would play a lot of similar games that PewDiePie does too. But of course, King would be playing the Doki Doki Sisters games and stuff like that, because why not? I know he's a little ashamed of it, but I mean, at that point, he's like, I don't care. Whatever I do, people are going to love it. So, yeah, it would be awesome if King was a YouTuber. Luke H asks, good day, Z-Sensei. I'm back and my anime addiction is growing by the day. I've decided to finally give One Piece a try. Holy crap, it's amazing. I just got through the Buggy fight, and after a little thought, Buggy would probably be a Tiger level threat in One Punch Man verse. My question is, who's the strongest A-class hero you think Buggy could defeat? I'd bet my money he could take down Death Gatling High Diff. No way, Luke. There's no way Buggy at any point in the One Piece series, no spoilers, could defeat any A-class hero. I'm sorry to break it to you. The Chop Chop Fruit's pretty cool, but other than that, Buggy is just so weak, and he's supposed to be weak. It's just funny. I mean, he's not like... It's not like any like civilian could beat him, but like A-class heroes are exceptionally powerful, even in the world of One Piece. Like they all have super strength, super speed, super physicality pretty much, or at least it's heavily implied that most of them do. And Buggy's Chop Chop Fruit doesn't stop him getting shot in the head. So I don't think Buggy could defeat any of the A-class heroes. Maybe he would have a better chance against the B-class heroes. But I do agree with you that he would be a Tiger for sure. And hey, I'm very proud of you that you started One Piece. It is the GOAT after all. So I hope you continue to go through and watch or read all 900 and 82 chapters. Second question, what are your predictions on the other changes in the One Punch Man manga? Do you think Child Emperor knows about Saitama's crazy power? So, I think Child Emperor will be suspicious of Saitama, but I don't think he'll outright know that he's the one above all. I mean, if you notice, like, all of Saitama's greatest feats in that revision, Child Emperor is none the wiser to. So I think it's left that way intentionally. MemePriest asks, hey, Sean, I hope things are good. Yeah, they are. I hope they are for you too, MemePriest. Here are my questions. What threat level would you give T1000? So his ability is awesome. And I think it's a demon level ability at base, right? I mean, come on. Imagine A-class heroes trying to deal with that. I mean, even though he doesn't have like super strength like a demon or super speed or whatever, but man, those abilities are so good. So yeah, demon's fair, you know, whatever, low, it doesn't matter. How would you think a fight between Sonic and Awakened Cockroach would go down? So this is a great matchup right here. I think that I really don't know. It's so close. It's so competitive. I think Awakened Cockroach could win, but I also think Sonic could win. Man, it's I really have to sit down and compare this. It is super close here. It's like 50-50 pretty much. Mr.Awsome asks, greetings Shonen, I'm here to ask a question, read One Punch Man manga chapters and all out of manga chapters. Okay, so this being an election year, I want to ask you a very important question about your political beliefs. Which are the two major political factions? Do you support Stormcloak or the Empire for Talos? So, man, this is a tough one too, because like the first time I played Skyrim, I went through with the Empire because I was more interested in their gear. I wasn't really too much of a fan of them otherwise. And then the second time around, I went through Stormcloak, you know, just because why not? And I got to say, I had more fun on the Stormcloak side, so I'll pick them. Okay, so my second question is regarding the point that Awakened Garo made. It said that if you took down the S-Class and A-Class heroes, the Hero Association would fall apart. So what would happen if that did happen? So based off of the situation that you're presenting here, I'm not sure if Saitama is still around or not. Maybe he is, maybe he isn't. But the monsters would pretty much take over at this point because that's ultimately what things are boiling down to. Like the world is like a boat that has like a hole in it. And like you're trying to patch it up, and every time you patch up the hole, there's another leak, and then there's another leak, and then there's another leak, and now you've got all these dudes going around the boat patching up these leaks instead of just like fixing the boat entirely. That's kind of what's going on with the monsters and the heroes here. So like if you remove the people fixing the patches, then the boat's just going to sink. It essentially ends with monsters running humanity and God being the ruler of everything. Mr. Toby 1018 asks, yo, Shonen, happy Sunday, big boy. Hey, you too, Mr. Toby. Last time I asked you how well Flashy and Darkshine would do against Golden S, but today I asked you how Flashy and Darkshine would do against Monster King Orochi. So this is where the Dream Team comes to a halt. A very staunch stop on their path to glory because there's no way that they could take down Orochi. I wish they could, but there's just nothing they could do, in my opinion, and I think he would just roast them just eventually. I don't know how long it would take, but it would eventually get to that point. I don't really see anything else they could do against somebody who's that much more powerful than them. With the latest webcomic chapter, demon level monsters seem that they have a buff in the sense that they are deemed scary and victory is uncertain against them. Do you think that there are demon level monsters that can beat dragon level monsters? If you think about it, demons are S-class level in a sense. They absolutely are S-class level, at least according to the Hero Association. So, yeah, demons are not to be slept on. That's pretty much what one is telling us. Just because they don't get the rank of dragon doesn't mean that you shouldn't respect them, and doesn't mean that they can't just straight up take out somebody way stronger than them. I think that's true. Maybe we'll see something like that in the future. And it's hard to say, like, if a demon could beat a dragon, because like, could Transform Bug God defeat Bakuzan, you know? Because technically that would be a demon defeating a dragon, even though Bug God could be considered dragon level strength without ever receiving that ranking, you know? Like, could Awakened Cockroach beat Bakuzan? You know, it's hard to say, but it's possible. Proasek asks, all hail Lord Shonen. How's about a question close to my field of play? If the SCP Foundation were to exist in One Punch Man universe, would the Hero Association have ever formed? My logic here is that they'd have contained the initial monster outbreaks, as we saw in the 100 yen bonus chapter, and suppressed any information about the increasing threat, and the initial argument for any organization to deal with these disasters would never arise. Have a splendid day. You magnificent beaut. Hey, thank you, Proasek. You're too kind. So I don't know what the SCP Foundation is exactly. I mean, I understand what it is, their community. I know what they guys do. I love the videos. It's all fun. But, like, the Foundation itself, like, what is this thing? Because you're saying that, like, they're containing the initial monster outbreaks. But, like, who is? How are they doing this? So are they contracting the heroes here? Or do they have talent that is S-class level, or is it the S-class heroes that they have it? Because then they technically still have the Hero Association, and you're saying, like, suppressing information about the increasing threat. In the beginning, that would probably be doable, but as time goes on, there's no way that they'd be able to keep this up. They're having, like, 9/11-esque events happening, like, all the time, and you can't cover that up, especially, like, nowadays in the webcomic. The 5 dragons just appeared. There's no way that you're, like, SCPing this away. So, like, I'll say in the beginning of the One Punch Man lore, like 3 years ago, or maybe in the time of Blast, you know, like when he was ruling the world, that definitely would have been an option. The SCP could have thrived at that point, but current day webcomic One Punch Man world, there's no way. They would definitely need to have some kind of public counteroffense against them. Seb H asks, hey Shonen, so you're talking about the 4th OVA here, and your question is, like, why was King able to defeat Saitama despite Saitama being so powerful? Like, could the machine not detect his power? So I love this OVA. It's probably my favorite OVA, my favorite part of Season 2. I made a review about this. Please check it out. I just gush over how much I love this one. Home run from JC staff here, for sure. But the machine here, it's kind of just gauging inputs. It doesn't gauge power. It's not like the VGS from the second audiobook, you know, like when the S-Class heroes go against Carnage Kabuto. It's not like that. This is kind of just like, if you're a good fighter in real life, or if you're really good at using a controller, you're going to dominate at this game. So like a UFC champion and somebody who's like an Evo champion are the people that are going to excel at this game. So it doesn't matter if you're like super powerful the way that Saitama is. It ultimately comes down to like skill. So that's why we like saw King dominate Saitama, and that's why we saw Suiryu and Garo dominate everyone else, and it ultimately came down to King dominating Suiryu, because King is so much better at being a video game player than Suiryu is at being a martial artist. Think about that. ShadowBatX asks, hello again, dude. Your least favorite patron is here. Don't say that, ShadowBat. That could be further from the truth. You know, I could always just refund you guys and block you if I wanted to, but I put up with you guys because I like you. I'm glad that you're able to get my letters through my cell. Anyways, hope everything is great with you. If not, well, King is there to give you a hug or a hot dog, man. He. Love that monster. So if Saitama were to protect every city from dragon level monsters, how long would it take him? I assume there are 26 cities, since it seems to be numbered by the amount of letters in the alphabet. So I'll put 3 dragons in each, 17 cities with low drags, 4 cities with mid drags, 3 cities with high drags, and the last 2 with above drags. So what's the time? This is a trick question, ShadowBat. You know that. There's no way to know how fast Saitama is moving at this point, but we can assume that he's moving. And if Saitama knew that he had to do this task, and he absolutely had to complete it, then he would do it to his best of abilities, and he would start moving at dangerous speeds. So whatever his time finishing this is probably going to be faster than what you expected, or what a calculation can tell you. Awesome estimations, of course. Drive Knight versus updated Phoenix Man. Who will win? So who's the victor? Well, considering that Phoenix Man lost Brilliant Eagle mode, he no longer can defeat Drive Knight, in my opinion. I think Drive Knight definitely surpasses everything that we've seen of Phoenix Man in the revisions, even the spiritual world stuff. I think Drive Knight's feats over Neon easily trump Phoenix Man at this point. Anyways, I'm glad you could take the time to ask questions. It's always a pleasure talking to you. By the way, you're a cool guy. If for whatever reason this insults you, I may have to have the pledge again. Anyways, take care. I don't know, man. Shigaraki said that Aizawa was a cool guy, so I don't know how I'm supposed to take this. I don't know, maybe a Band-Aid made out of cash will make me feel better. No, I'm just kidding. Don't give me any more money. Steven asks, Mizan Jutunu? Oh, man, this was like the worst one I butchered, but keep them coming, Steven. Who from the support heroes team do you expect to join the Neo heroes? I imagine Poison and Jet Nice Guy would be tempted to try on the battle suits or perhaps one-shotter, but I don't know who else. Take it easy, dude. So this is a good question. And I do think Poison is a good candidate for somebody that would want to try on the battle suits, and others would probably be tempted as well for the quick power-up, but other than that, I'm not sure of the motivations of the others so far. We'll have to just see the developments at this point. I mean, just because I just don't have any clear answers, but I would like to see Gearspur go to the Neo Heroes because he is like one of the top talents that the S-Class Heroes have. And, I'm not the S-Class, I'm sorry, the Hero Association has, and they're obviously not going to nurture him. It's obviously been established that is a terrible place for that. So the place that does nurture is obviously the Neo Heroes, and we found out that you can have like brain operations now, like what Webigaza has. So maybe Webigaza could hook up Gearspur with a brain doctor, unlock his potential, and now we have like a new Tatsumaki with the Neo Heroes or something. The Skinny Giraffe asks, so Shona, what's your personal favorite new form of Phoenix Man in the revised chapters? My personal favorite is Penguin mode. So my favorite was Brilliant Eagle mode. Now that it's gone, I guess I just like his regular base resurrected form. I mean, it's still aesthetic, it's still cool, one of the best designs, but the Penguin mode is comical, and I mean, it's fine, but I'm not like thinking it's like my favorite. And then like the new buffed version of Hawk mode is I don't know, I like the original better. And then Falcon was always meh. So yeah, I guess just his resurrected form now. Second question is, who do you think Cape Baldy's new hero name will be? Now that he voiced his displeasure about it to the Hero Association. Anyway, thanks to TheSkinnyGiraffe. Thank you, Skinny Giraffe. I appreciate that. I don't think the Hero Association is really going to take into consideration what they're saying. It would be funny if they did, but it didn't seem like Sitch was like really interested in what they were saying. Like as soon as he found out that they were like not being like on the same tone that he was about things, then he was like, I don't care. So if they do get to change their names, I assume Saitama would just want his name to be Saitama probably, but I hope that one day he gets the name One Punch Man, which is like 50-50 at this point. ThighsOfZeus asks, hey Showman, last week I think you misunderstood my question. I wanted to see the matchups that would leave the monsters winning, but you answered the S-Class winning instead. Oh, okay. So I think it would be ultimately beneficial for the, or should I just say Psychos, to plan things out this way. So you need to isolate Tatsumaki, which was, you know, she was kind of doing anyway. Isolate Tatsumaki, isolate Child Emperor. So Psychos is going to have to do this on her own to like, you know, do what she does against Tatsumaki. And then, I don't know, have like somebody like Rover or somebody go after Child Emperor. I think he would be a good one to stifle him. And then just have Evil Natural Water meet everyone close enough to the entrance as to where they're all like underground and you know, in the same vicinity, but it's not close enough to the entrance as to where they can easily escape. So then have Evil Natural Water there, but then have him reinforced with the ravine water from down below. Like obviously, since Psychos has this planned in advance, she could just have them funnel the water up or bring in more water and essentially just have Evil Natural Water flood most of the, you know, the area of where the S-Class heroes are going to start coming out and funneling and separating. At this point, they basically can't win. Like, as far as I know, there's like real no win conditions that they would have against Evil Natural Water, especially the size and the area that he would take up at that point. So he would essentially either shoot everyone or drown everyone. And that's why I say you need to isolate Tatsumaki and Child Emperor, because those are the two that are really going to have the outs to them. My second is, what do you think the S-Class rankings would be based off of pure power and fighting ability? Thanks, show bro. Take it easy. Hey, thank you, ThighsOfZeus. So here's a rough list for now. It's going to use some work, and as time goes on, I'll make a better one. So that's pretty much it for the video today, guys. Once again, I want to thank all 128 of my amazing, incredible patrons. Guys, thank you so much for continuing to support me. And if you would like to be next week's Q&A, just simply check out the Patreon. The $5 tier will give you access to this video. And if you haven't already, please subscribe as well. Have a great day. I'll see you in the next one.